Hey guys, Vigoman here and welcome back to another episode from Rovitz. In the last episode we built the fantastic castle of this place, and thank you so much guys for the amazing feedback. You guys really seem to enjoy that one. Today we will be continuing working in the village here, and what we're going to do first is build a little stables on the road towards the castle. The next thing we're going to build today is a combination of a suggestion from you guys and some input from me. And what we're going to do is a brewery or a cidery where we use the apples of Rovitz to create some delicious beverages. The fun thing here is we're going to play on a storyline where there used to be two breweries and they have been rivaling each other for ages, and then one of them just kind of cracked the code and kind of just brewed the best thing out there, and literally making the other one going bankrupt. And hence we're gonna have like one which is wealthy and good looking and one that is in ruins. We will build a ruined brewery later, but now we're gonna take a look at some small docks we have built alongside the river. When you're watching this video, I hope you are into the Christmas spirit and just enjoying spending your time with family, friends, or however you decide to spend this time, and that this video here will be icing on the cake. Moving on to the next part of today's episode, which is the ruined brewery. And as you can see, it's just slowly falling apart, especially the roof is more or less completely ruined, but also the plaster is falling off, the ground is being overtaken by nature, and it's really just not being used anymore. As well as the different buildings we built today, we have also spent some time adding some fields surrounding this place, adding some detail to the paths, and just trying to take it to the next level as we always do with minor details here and there. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video here. We're gonna go straight into a first person point of view, but before we do that, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. It's always hard picking a spot to start off the first person point of view part because the views are amazing all over the place, so just kind of try to pick the best one of them. And here we are standing next to the first brewery we built, which is the one that is currently still running, and I gotta say I am digging this one. It's a little bigger than the other houses surrounding this place, which allowed me to be a little bit more creative when it comes to the detailing and the layouts, and overall just adding some history and some functionality to the build, which is always what I strive towards, adding some realism and functionality and making it feel like an actual building. And I think this one really just checks off all those marks, so I'm super excited to show you this one. Whoa, I am in spectator mode. We can fix that real quick. Professional YouTuber, hello. Right next to that one we have a little field here with just some wheat, which is not currently yet ready for harvesting, and behind that we have a little orchard for apples straight into the brewery, so the freshest of the freshest. So what we have here is this yellow building, which is the main brewery. This is where the brewing process happens, and behind it we do have the house, the living quarters for the people working here, and this little wooden section here is actually for some of the workers that are helping. Hello game, you mind working? What's up? Okay, there we go. So this one is a small house for some of the workers staying here, so maybe they have her like for internship or something, I don't know, just like working a little bit, or maybe this is where they stay full time, who knows, or maybe they're traveling in for the summer, working here and then going back to their families. It could be whatever. And then we have this building, and then we come into the back, which is also part of the entire process here. And I'm really digging this place, the entirety of it, especially here. Love this view here with a little tower and all of that, and a little orchard here. I'm a little bit all over the place, guys. Hope you guys don't mind. So let's check out the interior here, and I've tried to do some research. I've tried to find some inspiration and try to use my common sense and knowledge to make this work good. Okay, so what we do have here is the room where the brewing happens. We're actually outside. This is where you mash the apples, so you could just stamp on them commonly or use other kind of tools to smash them, and then you kind of fill up this barrel here. This barrel you transport into here, and you can either put it straight into the containers or you could boil it here. So we have this little boilery thingy here, like that, to boil it up and then transport it into the fermenters here later. This could be for like sanitization or bouchering, which is like caramelizing the sugars and stuff, who knows, before returning it into the fermentation chambers here. So we have 4 of them here, and they're open, so you just stuck it in here, close the lid, and wait for good stuff to happen. Above here there is a big storage area. This is where you store stuff. Yeah, the kegs that are filled up, you can store them up in here for a little while, and there's actually a storage unit below as well, which we're going to check out in just a little bit. So very nicely opened up here for all of that storage stuff. On the side here we have this little winch system for pulling them up, or a pulley system, I suppose. So we have this big wheel, some wires and cogs and stuff going up, and you just pull them straight up like that before storing them. So that is like the I guess the factory bit of this place. And then next to this we have the living quarters for the family running this business. So there's a little kitchen here with everything they really need to prepare some simple food. And then in here we have the living quarters and a bed for the parents and all that kind of stuff. And then a ladder or a staircase going up to some more beds for the kids. A little dormer here for some nice additional light and stuff, and storage and all that kind of stuff. It's just a cozy little house, and I really like the way it's adjacent to the factory, or the cidery, brewery, whatever you want to call it here, which is really nice. And then next to here we have a little orchard where we have a lot of these apple trees, and it's just cozy walking along here. I really do enjoy that. On the other side of the building here, there's a little staircase that goes down. It's a little bit overgrown. It's an old building. Oh, hello. Whoops. Open the door like that. And we need to find some light in here so you guys can really see what is happening. There we go. So behind or below here, this is below the building above. In the cellars, we store some of the apples for long-term storage. It's probably quite cold in here, and you can also store some of the kegs for longer storage or aging below here. So yeah, we have this little building here for that sort of stuff. I hate the hitboxes of these ones. Oh, come on. There we go. And then next to this we have a little field, and I posted some teasers of this on my Discord, so if you know, you know. And this is basically a field for sheeps, or an enclosure for sheeps. So this is where they would have all the muttons come from, and wool and stuff. And as you can see, I've been layering this entire field here using the layer blocks, and it took some time, let me tell you. So that's what I've been spending my spare time on lately. There's a big dead tree here in the back. Love adding those. It just adds a little bit of history to the place. And there's a little shed for the sheep here. Some extra food if they get tired of the grass. Some water, and yeah, all that sort of stuff. I really like the way it's placed next to the road here. We have some trees that kind of block some of the skylines, which is a thing I try to do, is to block intentionally some of the views. So you drag the player, in this case me, but in the future maybe you, towards exploring the city, because they can't see everything. So when you have these trees, as you can see, they're blocking the castle, and you can kind of see it now, but then you're blocking it again, and it kind of forces you to keep on going. And it's a cool trick I like to play with, and it does look pretty fancy. Just a little further along the road, we have the first dock that we built, and it's a simple wooden patio here which extends into the river, and you could come in with boat, tie up here, unload and load off some goods for trading and selling, and maybe just transporting people faster than horseback or whatever. And on the opposite side of the village there is also a little dock here. This one is not used as frequently, as you can see. It's broken down a little bit. They have tried to do some simple repairing, but I wouldn't trust this too much. If I came in with some big luggage, I would prefer the other one, because I'm quite afraid that the dock might just crumble below my feet here. But it looks fancy, and again, telling a story of it being here for a long time, and also it tells a story that the other one is probably being used more or newer or whatever, and it just drags the user, in this case still me, to create stories in my mind. I also love the way we have these reeds growing along this place, some of the trees, added a little forest here as well, like a little spruce forest, which looks pretty cool in my opinion, and yeah, just these small bits like this really just tells the story. And that takes us to this place, which is the final kind of building for today, which is the old ruined left behind brewery or cidery, and it's very similar to the first one because they're doing the same business, but it's just ruined, and it's also built on a slight angle here, which is always fun. I really like playing with these roofs, trying to give some sense of structure, but then kind of removing it a little bit. So you still have these beams that would support all the roof. Some of them are broken down like this, some of them are completely gone, but the thatch, which is kind of the most porous of all of these, have mostly been rusted away or taken away. Maybe you've used it for other buildings, who knows. But this creates a really cool sense of ruinedness, I guess that's a word. And on the side that is mainly in the shadows, more frequently in the shadows, we have a little bit of moss growing, which is cool as well. And then we have this other building here. This one is probably my favorite. It looks so authentic, I think. The way it's broken down looks fantastic. So this would then be like the house for the people. Come on, what's going on? For the people working here, or the family running this place. And it's completely in ruins, so they had to move and get another job somewhere else, I suppose. And here we have the inside of the brewery here, and I tried to just replicate what we did in the first one to some degree, and ruin it. So we still have this boiler here for the sanitization or bouching. And over here we have some fermentation tanks. I guess some of them could have been sold or taken away, but there's one here that's ruined. Like that. Just standing on the side there. We have a lot of barrels. Most of them are rusty and broken down because, yeah, they're not being used anymore. And there's a little bit of a loft up here, which is very scary to walk on because it's missing quite a few planks, but this owl over here does really not mind. And then, as I said, I've added a couple of fields surrounding this place here like that, and it really makes it feel like a proper medieval village. We have a couple more up here, and then we have someone over here closer to the castle, and this big field and farms and all that kind of stuff just makes it feel a lot more realistic, and I think Rovitz is really coming along. And that will be it for today's episode, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed. If so, make sure to smack that like button, and if you haven't done it already, make sure to subscribe. It's been Viggo Man, and I'm out.